Oop, 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 oop. We got music. Gotta turn stuff down. What's up, people? How's everybody doing? I'm gonna have to hook up my headphones to cut the sound, so give me a second. I'll be right back. Nate, entertain the people. I know you can.
What's up, guys? This way. I move this way. Probably get more here. There we go. That's better. That works. Good enough.
Okay, Smokey. Hello, everybody. How do you do?
Oh, I'm tired, man. What's up, everybody?
You're too young to be tired. Too young to be tired. What's wrong with you?
I had a long day in school, man.
At home?
Yeah. What do you think of that big MiG, Nate? Greg, it's awesome. It's an amazing airplane.
I agree.
MiG, man.
I agree.
This thing's awesome, but I was really freaking loving the 21 yesterday, man. The 21's a badass airplane. But no, this thing's badass. You saw me fly it, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It was very impressive. I've seen Ricky fly it. Two people whose flying style I trust and can depend on are Nate and Ricky. So having seen both of them fly it, it's pretty much sealed that it's a cool plane.
Exactly, Dave. It shows my level of tiredness tonight. I didn't say anything.
Nate didn't say a damn thing while you were gone. What the hell? What's wrong? That's not normal. So I see a whole bunch of you people blowing things up in the chat, which is cool. Thank you very much for being here after that cool little contest we had with RC Air Marshal. That was fun.
Dude, my freaking RealFlight's all weird. So to update it, at least, so I have the old CD version, and the way you update it is you go on the RealFlight launcher and you update it. But when I downloaded RealFlight, of course, I put the launcher, and then I also put like the direct, like you click the direct part, and it takes you right in. You don't have to go through the launcher. And my computer was bugging out one day, and my RealFlight launcher somehow got deleted, so I can't figure out how to, because they came out with the 9.5 update. Now there's like a 9.5.4 or something, and I can't get it updated. So every time I try to do multiplayer, it doesn't work. So
the launcher's not there.
My launcher, it got deleted off my computer. Like I opened it to play RealFlight, and then my computer like bugged out, and I restarted, and it was gone. But I still have the direct way to get it, so I can still play it. But if you're not to the latest,
you just can't get through the multiplayer.
No.
Well, so cool. Let me get started by welcoming all of you here. So let me run through the list of people that were here. Ron for the Hills Mining, what's up? Shadow Ops, howdy. George Watts, JT200 Driver. Let's see who else. Michael Reitza, William Murgita, Jeff's Custom RC. Who else? Let's see. Oh, of course, the RC Air Marshal himself. Then we've got Mr. Kenny, Hangar 51. Who else? Still looking. Craig Beeben, what's up? Alan Gentry, my fellow Californian. Howdy. Who else? Victor RC is another fellow Californian. Hey, Matthew Smiley's Aviation, I sent you an email. Check your email, please, and get back to me because I need to make sure to get you your prize.
Kenny.
Who else? We saw that, said that to them. Who else? JCV67, howdy. Jeff in Moore, Alabama, what's up? Randy Huffins, Mr. I didn't get to see you over the weekend because we were out flying. Michael Statler.
Yeah. I need...
Ricky Thrower, what's up, man? Jermaine Spencer.
Dave,
what are you saying yeah to? What is it?
I'll have to do that. Now I'm just... Dave was saying that. I could try to plug the CD back in and get it back, but see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to get it
I'd have to just reinstall everything again.
No, see, the problem is, if I can delete the RealFlight and re-download it, but I have a bunch of custom planes that I downloaded, so if I delete it,
well, if you don't, will it delete all that stuff too, or can you just redo the program?
I'll figure it out eventually.
Okay.
I wanted to win that $225, man. But
oops.
Looks
like Matt M got that.
I had the most goated way to win too, but I couldn't get on.
Well, there's always a next time for whatever it is he decides to do.
Oh, dude.
So this is the part of the show where we do Q&A and questions that I usually miss. So if anybody has anything they'd like to ask.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Anybody has anything they'd like to ask, now's the time, because I'll take all this these few minutes to talk to you guys about what's going on with you and what's going on in your head. And I've got to grab some solder, so give me a minute. We're going to put the solder in this thing.
Oh, it's on, Dave. And I know I'm going to win that too. I'm going to do it with a plane that you think is virtually impossible.
So let's see. Anybody got any questions they want to ask or anything they want to bring up?
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about it, Randy. I have so many custom planes, and I always modify the stock airplanes. So if I lose those, I'd be pissed. Beyond pissed. I made the E-Flight F-16 go Mach 2 in RealFlight. That was amazing.
Wow. Okay, so Shadow Ops is asking something, and so is George Watts. So George Watts is saying that field you went to live at yesterday, is that AstroTurf? Yes, that's AstroTurf. They use old turf from football fields and use that for the runway. It's a little sloped, but it's actually kind of cool. The scenery is really cool there.
Yeah,
that's why I enjoy flying there.
That runway, if it had more shade, better charging setup, and that runway was paved, dude, I would only fly there. The scenery there is beautiful. See, Livermore is nice, but pit area is beautiful. Jesus, pit area is nice. Runway is really nice, but the scenery is kind of bland out there. Like that field, I love. You guys can't really see it, but there's a big hill back there, and the favorite thing to do is you do a pass, make a sharp turn, go at that hill. You pull up, and then you dive down the hill. I did that with this yesterday. That was so fun. I would turn away, and you'd see the fiery booties and pull up the hill. It's badass. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing flew pretty dang amazing.
If you guys remember how I wouldn't shut up last week about these missiles, that was that last week, and then I finally got a can of red spray paint. Made these look cool.
But you forgot them in your mom's car, so you couldn't put them on the plane.
Yeah, but they probably fly like crap with them anyway. I don't usually like to fly my planes with junk on. This thing looks better.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
So Shadow Ops is asking a question too. I don't know if it's the ESC or that they use too low a kVA motor. I think they use too low kVA motor.
What are you talking
for
about?
The setup for the Corsair. I think they should have used a minimum of 400 kV.
You know what they should put in there? I wonder if they put so the Mustang, the FMS motor in the E-Flight Mustang is the 540 kV. What is it? I wonder how.
No, it's 460. 460. It's 460.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how that would be in there.
That's the thing. I don't know if that prop they put on there is too.
Yeah, and the plane's a little bit bigger. So, did you see FMS? You see FMS made their own one of these, the E-Flight Mustang?
Yeah, I did, and I actually prefer that one. I prefer that. I
know.
like that
Good luck getting it. Good luck getting it.
Impossible. So Ricky's asking a question. So my opinion on the Corsair, I like it. I think that it looks pretty scale in the way that it flies. It's not crazy fast, which is fine because it shouldn't be for a warbird like that. But I think it could use a little bit more power. But I think it looks really cool. I think they did a good job on it. And if RC Informer is saying that it needs a little bit more power, and even after putting the 360 kV motor in there and it needs a little more power, I think that it does. But you know, I've flown my I think even going up a cell would work if that ESC will do it, but I don't think the ESC will do it.
Anyway. The FMS one's cool, but I like the approach that Flightline makes. Because every RC Corsair in their 4-blade props. I love the classic. I love the old Navy Corsairs, the old 3 blades. Those are that just looks better. Like the 4-blade.
Those are the old ones. The 4 blades were the Korean War era.
Yeah, I like the old.
Later in World War II.
I love the Corsair I have. I mean, it flew great. I just got bored of it. But luckily, the money was very well spent on that. That thing is so fun. Ray can attest to how fun I was.
The MiG?
Both MiGs.
Both the MiGs. Yeah, no, that was good. That was fun yesterday.
I flew that one the most, though. This thing. So, hey, guys, you're not going to believe it. I listened to Ray for once in a very long time.
Listen to me more often, you'll do better.
I got the MiG-21, right? And everybody was hyping it up, and I was like, damn, I'm excited to fly this. And I flew it, and I was like, why is it? It was, whenever I come out of a dive, I'd level off and keep climbing. And I asked Ray, because Ray's had his for years, and he's been doing random crap with it. And I asked him, like, dude, why is mine flying all funky? And I put the Lemon RX gyro in there, which, by the way, works amazing. And I asked him, like, why the hell is it doing all this weird stuff? He's like, you're probably too nose heavy. I'm like, really? Seems like it's flying tail heavy. But it's so weird. I guess that airplane, the way it is, if you're nose heavy, flies tail heavy. So I was like, I was in denial. I was like, there's no way. And I basically just say, hey, Ray, whatever happens, just take my plane, put the battery where you think it needs to be, and I'll fly it. And he puts it like way the hell back. I'm like, okay. I take off. It's perfect. It was so much.
That's the way it is. Yeah, it's a weird plane. It needs to be a little bit, well, according to the manual, it says tail heavy, but it's not really tail heavy. That's the way it's supposed to be. And you could probably even go back from where you are, and it would do even better high alpha.
Well, the way it was flying was nice to me.
Okay, cool. Well, you marked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So it's all
and
good.
I flew with a 6002. It's great. The high alpha. And when I set up the gyro, it's so funny. When I set up the Lemon gyro, I totally guessed on the gains. Like I said, it doesn't need much elevator, not much rudder, but I gave it a little more aileron because it wants to do this. Like I didn't even have to touch them; they were perfect. I guessed good.
Yeah, the Lemon, when you're anywhere within that lower half, you're usually pretty good. Once you go above that, it gets really jittery.
Well, this point only really needs it at a slow speed. At a high speed, I can't even tell it's there. But it's really when you slow it down, it doesn't do this with it. Without it, it likes to do that.
Does that weird wing wobble because it's just about to stall.
The way I set it up with my CG, and then when I put full flaps, I have a little bit of an upmix. But the plane basically holds a high alpha by itself. It's great. And you saw those super low.
That's a cool thing too.
Almost scraping the ventral fin on the ground.
And then with plane 2, once it starts to get too slow, it'll just slowly drop its nose. It won't just fall or snap or stall. It'll just the nose drops. So you add a little speed.
Going up, hovering it, and then flipping it back around. It was fun.
I'll be right back. Gotta grab.
So yeah, I flew that 21 like 7 times yesterday, and I flew this one like 4 or 5 times. This thing's so fun. It's so clean when it flies. It's a good airplane. E-Flight P51 doesn't roll. If you're talking like in RealFlight, just up the rates because it rolls plenty fine. One expectation I had vehicle when I had that 3-blade prop and my thing was yeah, they I was literally gonna get one of those FMS 109s, and then the time I wanted it, I can't find it. Everything on FMS is
Okay, back. So let me see if I missed anything.
You didn't really miss much.
Anybody asking anything here?
You know what? I'm just gonna put this thing back so I can have E-Flight 51.
So anything else that you guys want to talk about before we get into what it is we're going to get into here?
UBEC time.
What's up, Joseph Youngblood? Yeah, that's good.
Rudy gave me all those F-18s. No, it's just parts for the F-18 because Rudy didn't wreck his, but Rudy's got wrecked.
Oh, it did? What happened?
He let Eric, Southwest Eric.
Oh, yeah.
He let Eric fly it, and I guess it was one of those like super smoky days, and Eric let it get too far and just lost orientation on it.
No. Oh no. Ugh. That's too bad.
Gotta hate that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, if anybody's curious, I did not have any elevator problems yesterday because I'm not a dingus.
Well, you are, but you didn't have any problems.
What, Ray?
I said, well, you are, but you didn't have any problems.
Hold up, we gotta get
Plane
the
worked.
board.
That thing flew pretty dang awesome.
Gotta get the board.
Trying to keep up with the chat here. Before we get into what it is we're going to be doing, I see more people showing up. Yeah, Ricky, he crashed it. But it wasn't him, I guess it was Southwest Eric.
Yeah, it wasn't Rudy. I love Rudy, though. Apparently, when it happened, he was like, well, shit happens, I guess.
Time for the next project. Time for the next project. Oof. I have a feeling he likes to build more than anything.
Actually, that F-18, he actually bought that off of, what's his name, Donnie Jackson.
Yeah, he did. I think he went up there to get it.
I feel like Donnie, he buys planes and then he just sells them. He's that type. He's a nice guy.
That works. That should work.
I still can't get over how massive this canopy is.
How what?
This is such a pretty airplane, and it flies very good.
Yes, very good. I was impressed. The MiG-21 with that new setup is pretty cool, too.
Yeah, I know. It finally says that the FMS is not the premium setup.
Well, I didn't say that. The older FMS. I think it did probably about the same. You had more vertical, though.
I had way more vertical.
But I
feel like mine had more static thrust than yours.
Yeah, it does. That's the older 2000 kV.
2000. I was gonna say that ain't a 1930.
2000, yeah. Yeah, no, it was 2000. I couldn't remember if I put the 1930 because I had a whole bunch of those. I remember if I actually put those in there.
I swear. So YouTube, like when you watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, like repeatedly, it'll pop up in your recommended with videos like that. And since I had been watching a bunch on the 21, I saw your old video when you put that 10 blade setup in it.
Yeah, that actually worked really good. I just hated the sound.
I know it sounded.
It worked really good in that plane, but it flew like crazy. Now when I put the first motor that I had in there, I had a two-turn 2200 kV motor, and that thing was screaming, but it was too much, and it ended up burning out.
Whoops!
I mean, it was crazy fast. It was it was faster than the F5 is right now, but it was too much because the motor literally cooked. It burned everything up. There were no magnets left. It was bad. It would just spin freely with no cogging at all. So you knew it was bad.
I know, impressed with the E-Flight.
All right. So I'm going to do a split screen thing here because we're going to be doing some more. You'll be able to hear us, but you're going to be able to see what I'm working on. So I will move the configuration to something a little different. Let's move it to this.
God, I need a haircut. But my freaking barber moved to Arizona, so I'm having to use my mom's hairdresser now.
Let's see if this works.
It wouldn't like the real one then, Randy. They did a pretty good job. Yeah, they did. I mean, I've flown mine a bunch. It flies pretty similar. It's a lot easier to land in RealFlight. Although you can still bounce one in RealFlight pretty easy if you want. I would say every plane I have I don't need, but I want. Yeah, that's the story of our lives, Dana. Soldering cam. Oh yeah, you're changing out the BEC on that, huh?
Yeah. So let's just get into that.
Mute one of your peoples.
I thought I did. Oh, gotta mute that. Whoops. So one of the things I had to do on this little bird here is last time I went to fly it was at the jet rally at Kings County, and it was Kings Canyon. It was kind of warm out there, and I was sitting and waiting for the next plane, because it's the turbine guys, and they just they want to jump out there as much as they can. So basically, you've got to get in line. So I got in line. I had the plane plugged in and ready to go. Next thing you know, it's starting to go, cutting off, then coming back on, cutting off, and coming back on. So I reach down, and I feel on the UBEC, which is right in here. Let's see,
Smoking.
Okay, can't see that. Not that way. That way. Okay, so the UBEC is right in here, and it was crazy hot. So I'm like, no.
Randy, when you're flying a warbird, even in a roll, put a little bit of rudder in there, it'll be even better. I have a rudder mix on mine. That 25. I have a 25% rudder mix. Every time I do a roll, the nose stays on the head.
Yeah, everybody freaks out about that and says, "Oh, you can just use your no." Put a rudder mix in. That's the best thing to do.
I mean, most planes I use my fingers, but that kind of plane, I mean, basically the way I have it set up now is I can just crank the aileron on and make a coordinated turn.
Cut your workload down big time. So, anyways, I was saying the UBEC was cutting in and out, and it is.
I believe where I learned that from.
It was overheating. So, and I think it's because of partly because of where it is, and also because it's kind of under what it should be. This is the whole setup, the same setup that I use for that they use for the Freewing F-22. But I never did really care for their UBECs because I think they're a little too small, in my opinion. So this is what I went for. I got it says Hobby Star, but it's really ZTW.
Damn, that boy thick.
See that? Yeah, so it's a ZTW 18 amp peak. It says Hobby Star, but it's ZTW. They just changed the name. It's 12 amps regular operating, but
Bob, we weren't at Livermore this weekend, my dude.
Oh, what's up, Bob? And guys, can't really pay much attention to the chat, so don't feel bad. I'm going to be working, but Nate will try to take care of it here. So I'm going to switch to full screen here. You'll still be able to hear us.
Here's your prop plate.
Switching to full screen. So Nate, sorry, that's going away. But we're going to be working on stuff. So let's get this to turn down a little bit more. There we go. So, as I was saying, the UBEC is right over in here.
What's up, GB?
Sorry. Up a little bit. What's up, GB? Oh, also, you guys can kind of see the new shirt. This is one that the wifey helped to get set up. But that's
Randy,
Nate's image.
If you're trying to compare
Nate's image and wifey's.
If you're trying to compare a Mustang to an extra 300, there's no comparison there, Randy.
No, two different planes. Never going to be the same. Although you can tune it to work, you can tune it to roll like one, but it's going to take a lot of rudder mix to get it there. Huh?
Ray'd be the type to make a 3D plane fly tame.
I
See,
could.
I like
Nothing to do.
moderate throws and like decent amount of expo, but when I have a 3D plane, I just leave the throws at 100 with like 10% expo, and I just fly the crap out of it.
So, all right. So we're gonna get some soldering done. So I can't see this right now. Maybe you can, maybe you can't.
Satellite too.
What?
Resecure your satellite.
Yes. I think this one is loose. Yeah, it's loose. It always comes off. I'm gonna tape it, or I'm gonna put hot glue in there.
I don't ever use that. That double stick tape is crap.
It's crap because of the releasing.
You probably changed the receiver too, because what happened to your F-35?
What are you talking about?
The gyro coming loose.
No, this is glued down.
Okay, good man.
That's not coming up. Okay, so there's gonna be some soldering.
I'll be right back. I need a drink.
Okay. There's going to be some soldering. So another thing I dislike about the leads on this, they didn't give nearly enough room on the UBEC. So not nearly enough lead on there. So sorry for the shaky camera. I got to move it. Not nearly enough lead right here. So that's going to be changed. I'm going to clip it right here and then add some of my own to it. But one of the most important things to remember when you're going to do some soldering, always put heat shrink. Put heat shrink on the plane. George Watts, this is the Freewing 90 millimeter F-16, and I have an 8S FMS setup in it. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but this thing's a rocket ship. And since it's so fast and so powerful, I want to make sure that it's got what it needs. So yet again, I'm going to show you guys. I'll show it again. I'm putting in a UBEC, a better UBEC, 18 amp UBEC with this high voltage. It'll take 11.1 up to 60 volts.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it is no joke. So I may not make the tray in there today, but I'm gonna probably make a tray for it so that it can sit there and not get in the way.
No way.
What are you talking about?
Usually your planes are just wires dangling all through them. Is it actually gonna make it neat?
It's still not all that great in there, but I'm gonna do something.
Like your baby F-18, man, that thing's hilarious.
That's horrible. But you love the way it flies. The whole thing about that plane is that was like a test bed. I tried like 4 or 5 different burners in that plane.
Fred Barron.
Holy crap, Fred Barron. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, he's paying for your UBEC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, the cool thing, guys, this is from RC Juice. It's not crazy expensive. I think it was $40, maybe $30. Wasn't that much?
BEC.
No. And I trust these because I use the regular 10 amp in most of my planes.
Yeah, that's what I got in my F-22 is you put the ZTW in it.
Yeah, the ZTW 10 amps, and they are good because they're.
We don't talk about Frank's F-18 catching on fire with ZTW ESCs.
Whose?
Remember Frank's? You didn't see that?
No, I wasn't there.
Frank's F-18 caught on fire.
Why?
One of the ESCs just bursted.
The big one or the small one?
The big one.
Oh, sheesh. He probably had
He already fixed it.
He probably had the wrong setting or something.
But he was taxiing out. And he heard a big pop, and then there was a bunch of smoke coming out. But the way he had the batteries, he couldn't get it unplugged in time, and it like melted one of the fans.
Oh no!
But he seems like he redid the whole thing, and he got it fixed, and he flew it the next week. But he said he lost like $400 in that little pop.
That's what you get when you go up to the bigger stuff. Things end up costing a little bit more money.
Did you hear what he just bought too?
No.
He bought a Skymaster T-38.
Oh wow.
He's going to the dark side of the turbines. Remember just a year ago?
No, I know. He's always been thinking about it. So now he's actually
he
taking
flew his
plunge.
foamy vibrant Livermore.
Yeah, I know. That's good. It's good.
He had to go home to tend to the baby.
He's going to have to take the time out to do it when he can.
And then he ran off with my 4S battery. So.
I think he'll be fine.
No, I'm not worried about it. I let him use it as a test thing, and he put it in his bag, and took off with it.
He's got a baby. He's got baby on the brain. He can't think.
That's all good.
Dude, stop burping. What the hell? What's going on with you? What are you drinking?
Dr. Pepper.
Jesus. Stop burping. All right, so I am. So you did it again. I'm gonna have to mute your butt. Now you hear the wife laughing in the background. So I don't know if you guys can see. You can see my hands here. I'm soldering a little extension onto the lead here. So that I can.
If I turn my fan like that, is it blowing on the mic?
Nope, we're good. And if it is, I'll just mute your ass. That's all. No, it's fine. I can't hear it. That's a cool fan you got too. That old Vornado looking thing. All right, so I'm doing the negative side. And then
seems like everybody wants to
side.
Sounds like Victor wants me muted.
You'll be okay, Victor. If you can sit in the car with your wife learning how to drive, I think you'll be fine with Nate running his mouth.
God, it was almost the opposite for me. I couldn't stand my driving instructor.
So let's see.
He's a pretty nice guy, but he was also really weird.
The patience of a saint? What are you talking about? I've got kids, man. I know what it means to have patience. You have to. So I'm as much as Nate is a pain in the ass, sometimes I he's a good kid, so I won't give him too hard of a time.
But, who, me?
Yeah, you. As I call you, you dink.
Quit picking on baby Nate. Okay.
He's almost as big as I am, so you can't call him baby anymore. So I'm heat shrinking right now. My stuff, I hope it's not too loud, and if it is, so what? I'm working. So we're getting the leads done, so I need to put some more heat shrink on the other side.
Got a good question.
What's he asking?
He's just asking you what's going to happen if you upgrade the BEC. I would tell him, but you should answer.
What do you mean?
He's asking like what is doing this upgrade going to benefit for you?
The main benefit for me is peace of mind, and this is way more than I'm going to need. But the main thing is, see all this extra metal on here? This is cooling. So I'm going to set it up in the plane in a way where it's going to get lots of cooling air, so that even if the plane is stationary for a long period of time, like it was when I was up in the Fresno area, it will still stay cool, and I'll still be able to run and not have any thermal shutdowns, because that's what was happening. I reached down there and that thing was hot. It was burning.
Yeah, Alan.
Way too hot.
Alan Benjamin makes a good point. I wonder if when your motor was cutting out with BEC.
I think it probably was. It might have been, and I'm lucky that I was able to get the thing down.
Well, it happened twice. One time you're like, I'll just keep flying it.
I know, and it never did show that there was a
loss of control.
There was a lot. I don't know what it was. It never lost control, but the motor would shut out.
That happens.
So I don't know.
What was it that did that once? It was my F-18 did that once, and I thought it was something like that, but then I landed it, and the blue freewing ESC is weird when the battery's getting low. Instead of hitting an OBC, the motor just cut in and out. Because I was like,
that's a soft cut.
It was the last. Well, no, we changed that, remember? But it didn't have any sort of soft start. It's just weird.
It would just cut off.
Well, no, it just the motor like flashed on and off, but it was like the last 30 seconds of my flight, I firewalled it, but the battery was getting low.
Oh, so you went too low. Yeah. You hit the low voltage. Yeah.
But it wasn't like a. It was like a. It went like
Yeah.
I landed it, and I was like, what the hell? And I felt the BEC was fine when I checked my battery 3%. I was like, oh, that'll do it.
That's probably what. And then when it was under load, it dropped too low.
My bad.
Okay.
That's what happens when you fly like me, like a dingus.
Like a dingus. Yes, like a dingus.
You think?
So sorry for the wiggling on the cam, but I have to do some readjustment so that I can get in here. So I need to.
How did what go?
Trim some stuff off. Here.
He's asking me. I got the F-18 on the ground. It was fine.
Yeah, see, they made these wires way too short. Clip there.
Yeah, I heard that, and I threw the gear down and landed it.
Gotta make these a little bit longer.
So I flew the MiG-29 like 5 times yesterday, and then it was so weird. So it was sound.
I think I only saw 2 of those flights.
But yeah, I flew it like 5 times yesterday, and then so the sun was setting, and all of a sudden it was foggy in the morning, and then it finally cleared off, and then right as the sun was going down, this like wall of fog just came in, and I'm like, crap, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fly in because that field we're not allowed to fly past the posted sunset time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fly the MiG before I can't fly again. It was like 4:45 and the sunset was 5:10. And I take off the MiG, and then all of a sudden we get socked in. I'm like, oh shit. And Ray saw that. I was like, okay, I'm landing this thing. So it was clear from the left, but we had like a 10-mile-an-hour tailwind coming in that way. So I'm like, screw it. But luckily that MiG flies so good, I just threw the gear on. I came in super low, made a super tight approach, and you saw it, Ray. It was fine.
No, it was fine. And it came in with no issues. But what blew me away about that thing is how fast it is.
It is fast.
But then it slows down really easy, which is cool too.
You don't even need flaps to land it. Actually, I think it lands better without the flaps.
Without the flaps.
Because I landed it once with flaps, and you need more elevator because the flaps block out the elevator.
Right.
I'm able to get the nose a lot higher without the flaps, so I don't even use them.
So another one of these things.
Pilot Ryan, what's happening?
What's up, Pilot Ryan? One of the things to note when you're doing stuff like this and you have to solder in the plane, these are wet rags. Put wet rags in there so that if solder drips, it's not going to melt through your phone. And then I have a towel over here protecting the wing because I'm actually going to put my third hand. That's more than third hand. I'm going to put my
15 hands.
My assistants here, the third hand things, the helpers.
Dr. Pepper cream soda. What the fuck?
Yeah, they do sell that. Okay.
That sounds right. No fun.
So I can see.
People think Dr. Pepper tastes like medicine. I think it's pretty good.
To me, the Dr. Pepper diet tastes like medicine. I can't stand diet. All right, so I'm gonna get the.
That's what I mean. Diet stuff. Sugar stuff is way too fucking sweet.
Get the UBEC now.
Uh-oh, I dropped an F-bomb.
And it's okay. I've got a master mute. If you get crazy, I'll just shut you off.
Yeah, that's just how I talk.
Blam! All right.
I just talk like idiots.
So we're going to solder on. Now again, always make sure to put on your shrink wrap before you start soldering. What?
Remember, Ray, you solder the red wire to the black wire.
Yeah, I know. You interrupted me, butthead. Be quiet. Hold on, I'll get it. So I'm on red.
I think you didn't realize I was joking.
I know, but you're talking too much again. Be quiet.
I said you solder the red wire to the black wire.
Yeah. That sounds great. That sounds really good. Bad
Smart.
advice.
All diet drink leave a bad aftertaste. I mean,
Because
I
of
think
aspartame. Okay, so we're doing red to red. Ignore Nate and his
red to black.
shenanigans. Red to red. We don't want to have any kerblooey. So that's done. The red is done.
Is that
Now
a
we
new
get.
word?
Now we get the
Kabloop.
black one, like Nate was saying, but we're not going to do black to red. We're doing black to black here.
Damn,
So
Rudy gave me. Oh, cool! He gave me like that little white piece behind the gear that piece of crap always breaks. What should I use to clean Brandon's motor with again? Oh, Bob.
That's Bob. You need to clean the motor again. They do have an actual motor cleaner you can get. You have a motor cleaner you can get that'll work too. But if it's just cleaning the motor off itself, get distilled water and you can soak it in that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That'll get everything off, but it has to be distilled. And you have to get the bearings out too. The bearings have to go in something else. Okay, so we're doing another solder here. I have to tin the other wires.
Just got dessert dropped off.
Get out of there. Get out of my way. Okay, so we're tinning this other stuff. Tinning a little wire in the back. And we're going to cover that thing up. Okay, now we're going to do the joint.
You gonna what the joint? Smoke it?
There's smoke, but it's not that kind of smoke. It has been soldered into place, so that is the hard part. So now this is another thing that's important, guys. Whenever you get a new UBEC, especially one where you can change voltage, do not plug it in to the plane yet. I'm kind of jumping around right now, but I'm gonna get this connection secured, and then one thing to remember, especially with certain type servos, these servos will not do over 5.5 volts. So if you go anything above that, you will fry them. So since this UBEC can do multiple voltages, leave everything unplugged and select the proper voltage. Make sure you can't change it after that, and then plug it into the radio. So let's get this done first.
The radio?
The receiver is considered radio, you know.
Yeah, no, just being a
radio equipment.
Heat shrinkage.
My ears.
Heat shrink is important, and I'm leaving the noise because you guys need to hear me working. Why not? So, I think the soldering is all complete. I'm not going to do any more. This wire is purposely long because I don't want to put any extra strain on this stuff. So I'm going to secure it, but I'm going to secure it in a way that gives me plenty of movement so that if I'm unplugging the battery, I'm not going to snap it. I'm going to put it right here, probably, which is where the air does blow in there. The intake air comes in right here.
Joking, by the way, guys.
Cool it off.
Don't put your VEC behind the fan.
No, don't do that. So let me take this off before I end up. Yeah, see, that was already starting to remove the water slides. So all the heat shrink is done.
Little shot of Hennessy and what?
Oh, God. I want to put somebody to sleep. Is that what it is with Hennessy? Try that. All right, cooling that off. Drying it out so it won't peel.
God, it's so sweet.
I looked at that.
Huh?
So Bob, if you're cleaning the motor, if you just want to clean the stuff off, you got to soak it in distilled water, just to get the crap off. But you need to soak it in distilled water without the bearings. So, and then you need to completely dry it off. And then after you do that, another thing you could do is put the stuff called Corrosion X all over it, which will keep it from basically waterproof it, but it'll also keep stuff from sticking to it anymore, any corrosion from sticking. And that should pretty much be it. And then you need to take the bearings out, either replace the bearings with new ones or get motor cleaner and soak the bearings in that, and you'll be good. All right, so this UBEC is good for what? 11.1 volts, which is 3S all the way up to 60 volts. So I don't need to plug in my actual 8S to get this programmed. So I'm just going to plug in whatever battery I've got that's got that connector. Right now I have one single 4S, which will do. And I'm not even going to turn the radio on. I'm just going to, let's see. Okay, so I got to pull out the old one. The new one's in there, but the old one's still there. So let's get this grody fiberglass tape out of the way. Can you turn this up a little bit then if you're going to turn that on? Can you turn the fan up if you're going to turn the heater on? Because I'm already frying.
That's how I feel when my mom turns the heater on for the puppies. I'm like, God damn it.
Just one up. Just, you know. Okay, so we're going to take this fiberglass tape out of here.
Oh, yeah. The puppies are opening their eyes finally.
I saw that. I saw your mom posted that.
2 of them still haven't opened their eyes yet, but 3 of them have.
Where were they in the birth order?
I can't remember. They were born 2 weeks ago today, but I can't remember which one was born first.
All right, so that UBEC is coming out. So there's a board here for the UBEC connection. I'm unplugging it from there, and it is going to come out. I'm not even going to use this thing, so I'm just going to clip it. Because if it gave me a problem once, that's all I know. Okay, so let's look at the difference here. One thing about metal, and if you do metal the right way, it helps with heat dissipation. So this is all metal, and if all the circuit boards are put on this thing the right way, basically this whole thing is a heat sink, which is good. That means it's going to take heat away from the components and cool things off. Notice this thing. This is just, I mean, there's a little bit of a heat sink here, but they have heat shrink around it, and the heat shrink actually doesn't move heat away, it holds heat in. So this is already at the pretty much, what is it, a 7.5 amp. That's way too little. 5 amp max, 7.5 amp. Well, 5 amp continuous, 7.5 amp max. So that's probably the reason why this thing was giving you a hard time.
The BEC on my F-18, which is 6S, is more than that. It's 8 amps.
I know. So I don't understand why they use such a small. So I'm not going to be using this ever again. I'm clipping it.
That's in the MiG-29 is that 8 amp, and that 8 amp works perfectly in that airplane.
That's a different one. This is an older one. This is a high voltage. So, and it's, I mean, it might be great for a smaller plane, but considering all the stuff that this plane has, it's got lights, it's got gear, it's got 17-gram servos all around. The gear itself is really robust on this plane. So you don't want to have flip the gear and be moving servos at the same time and the thing blanks out. So this go bye-bye. Too much. So I'll have to fish this through. Fish that through. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm probably not going to do all of this on film either. I'll do the rest another time, but at least I got some of the soldering done. So this is, yeah, that's glued in place. So anyway, so that part's done. As you can see, I have a little bit of strain relief right here with the zip ties. You don't want to be pulling on the solder joint itself, or you will mess up your connection. So I'm going to plug this in, and I'm only going to do this with nothing plugged in to set the voltage, because it has all these different voltages it can do. It can go from 5 volts all the way up to 8. All I'm going to use is 5. So let's plug in a battery. It's going to beep because there's no radio signal, but I don't care because all I'm doing is
Bam!
it's never going to do anything here. It's on 5 volts now. See how hard it is. Yeah, see, it's not easy to... Okay, I like that. It's perfect. Okay, so it's hard to reset it, which is perfect. Okay, great. So there's no bumping it to mess up. It's on 5 volts right now, so I don't need to do anything. Just going to leave it as it is. So there you have it. That has been done. So cool. What were you going to say? What?
It's dundage.
Done. Yeah, so the only thing left to do is run the wire and see. Once I figure out where to put it, I don't totally know where I'm going to put it yet, but I don't want to block anything in there.
Put it right on the receiver wire.
So just go blam, like that on the box. Actually, it could be up front, but
Where not to put the BEC is under.
yeah, don't put a BEC right next to your receiver.
Yeah,
Because this one,
that's at least they did the time and effort on the MiG-29. They made it to where I put my receiver in the nose, and then my BEC sits up by my front battery. So it's way.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so this plane has a little cubby up in the top here, up in there. I might find I don't want to do that because the wires are there. So I'll find either a way to put it in here on the side, but then that's right next to the batteries, and the batteries get warm. Not very warm, but they do get a little warm in flight. So I might just find a way to put it somewhere in there. I'm not going to worry about it today. But at least you guys could see that much of it. And see everybody's talking in the chat.
We are saying.
As I was saying, though, you guys didn't see this shirt. Look, in your upper right-hand corner. This is the new. This will possibly be out soon. But this is something that the wife put together. Some different graphics. That's Nate's picture, of course. We're going to get some new pictures to put up. But this is a pretty cool shirt. This is one of my favorites.
I have good photo ideas in mind. I'll probably take them this week.
Yeah, so we got to do an actual full-on video of the MiG. We didn't get to do that yesterday.
Yeah, do a slacker.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to fly. I wanted to fly.
You didn't get
There are all those dang nitro planes out there yesterday.
that. See,
way too many. Way too many yesterday. I love nitro planes, but that was too many.
then you got people working in the middle of the runway while people are flying, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that, but whatever. So what's up in the chat?
Are we gonna go back on? Faces?
Yeah, we're gonna go right now. So the soldering is done, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for doing that. The soldering cam is going to go away for doing, and it's going to be my fat head and Nate's fat head. Huh? My fat head.
Uh-oh.
That one's gone. That's gone. We're good. It's gone.
I'm like tweaking.
Oh, hey, there's the nose and the canopy behind me. Oh, and there's pancake mix and bird food.
Am I good now?
A weird place.
You guys?
Huh? You're fine.
Am I good? Because I was tweaking out for a second.
What are you worried about? Your hair? What?
No, my Wi-Fi was tweaking out on here.
It never did here. We're fine. Ooh, yeah. This thing's doo doo. I knew I shouldn't have used it.
I didn't comb my hair. My hair looks like shit.
I didn't use it. Shouldn't have used this thing, but dang, Mama, it is not cold.
I'm gonna get some photos.
It's not cold. Drink more tea or something. It's freaking hot. I'm sweating in here.
That's exactly what I told my mom. I'm like, you guys are cold?
It is not cold.
It doesn't help. I've got this portable heater on me. So I guess
All right, so let me go back and look in the chat and see what y'all was talking about.
Dear that sailor tongue of yours.
Wife is over here giggling, which means you were talking about something.
No, I was talking
All right.
about how I don't like the heater because I've already got a portable heater on me.
Yeah, I'm the heater in this house for the most part, because I never need the dang thing on. All right, so the soldering cam is gone.
Belly tank. Yeah, I have a belly tank. The belly
So, those of you that are MapFlight, yes, you're right. It would be good. And I've considered. Damn it, kid, quit burping. That's gross, man. Do that on your live stream, not mine.
At least I'm
That's
not
nasty.
farting like Dave.
Yeah, but it's still burping and it's annoying. Stop it. No more of the burping. So anyway, I'm gonna try and
Turtle
check the chat.
from the Goonies. The Goonies. I've seen that movie a million times. I'm a Jedi.
It's an absolutely horrible movie, but it's still a cult classic.
I thought Goonies was good.
Well, I mean, especially when you're a kid, it's fine, but it's just really horrible.
My mom made a funny joke one time. You know the kid in the movie named Chump.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's like, his personality is like yours. I'm like, thanks.
I'd have to agree with mom.
Acting like a retard.
I'd have to agree with mom on that one. Nathaniel Pulling, howdy. I see you guys said hi. Pilot Ryan, you said hi. I haven't seen a whole bunch of people because I was working on stuff. But thank y'all for spending the Monday evening with us because I know it's late.
Worst movie, I mean, can't be as bad as Iron Eagle.
Iron Eagle was horrible, but it was still a cool movie. Because there was planes and stuff.
My favorite part of the whole movie is when Art Scholl races the 150 through the canyon. Really sucks he died.
And then it blows up in the end. He died in Top Gun, not that one.
Yeah, he put it. Yeah, if you guys don't know Art Scholl, he was the guy who filmed the inverted spin scene in Top Gun. But basically, when they did that, he flew in his pits and he rolled his pits inverted and did an inverted spin to film that, and he couldn't get out of it. And he crashed straight to the ocean.
Yeah.
He
didn't make it.
He killed himself basically in the plot of the movie. Death spin. He couldn't get out of it.
There's no getting out. He tried till there was no getting out. And it was inverted, so there's no way he could have flipped over to get out. So, anyway.
Some planes, when they get that I almost killed a little E-Flight F4. I put it into like a falling leaf stall, but it was like holding it. I was full down and it barely came out. And then it just somehow finally plopped out of it.
Don't do it. So, now that I'm looking at the chat again, any other questions, my peoples? Yes, I did get to fly yesterday for the first time in a long time. Been going crazy on orders. Still have to go crazy on orders to get everything sent out. But I am catching up finally. Joseph Youngblood, I think he's probably already gone, but I got his order out to him. I've got a few more people. Spencer Keith just put in another order. Dude's a madman. He put in another order, so that's going to go out too. But I've got John Townsend. He got his order all the way in New Zealand. A couple people in Australia, Germany, Austria, the UK, Australia. They've been going everywhere.
I need Top Gun. Good night, Shadow. I want Top Gun 2020 to come out. They keep pushing it back because of this COVID bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, David Martin Graff. I tried to play that game, that Top Gun game, on Nintendo, and it was terrible. The only game that was actually kind of good, that was a dogfighting game for Nintendo, was it was called Stealth Fighter. And that was actually kind of good. But yeah, the Top Gun game was
I want to do RealFlight combat with Ray.
When I get my stuff, you will. I'm actually pretty good at combat. My
Right.
kids, that's one of the few things they like to do. They play. They have the new what is it? Ace Combat. And they play Corey. My youngest Corey, he was playing against people online, and they're like, "What the heck? He's pretty good."
I played this one game on the phone. Beat me. Works again, please.
So who's going to bed? Shadow Ops. Good night, Shadow. If anybody else has to go, don't feel bad. It's late. But it's 8:19, which is really 9:19. You know, California, we passed the law to actually get rid of daylight savings, but we haven't finished all the final steps yet. COVID kind of got in the way of that.
It's so annoying. I saw
But we
our
will.
under a bridge on the Ohio River, pull up between the bridge, and he flew under it. He flew under, and
Did a stall turn and came back around. Yeah. Dude was a badass. He was really good at it.
Oh yeah, that was the '80s, George. I mean, I can't say anything about the '80s, but
actually, I think I got to see him fly once, because I didn't really start going to air shows full on until the mid '80s. So '84, '85, '86. '86 was the biggest air show that we had out here at Moffett. It was huge.
They have F-14.
Yeah, they did. They had F-14. They had a Navy F-16, because that's when they were just finally starting to use those for aggressors. What else? They had one. I think the next year they had the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels the same day. And then they even had those. Then they had, I can't remember that show, but there was a whole bunch of different display teams. There was one from Brazil, the Frecce Tricolore, the tricolored arrows from Italy. They were there.
Oh, really?
That was '85. It was, yeah, a whole bunch of planes. And then that same year, those guys died. All those guys died in that.
Yeah, they all mid-air.
Ramstein. Yeah. But
I wish I was born at the time to see an A6 fly. I don't know why.
When we first moved to the EA6B is huge. The regular A6 isn't that big. But when we first moved here in 2004, we got buzzed by an A6, one of the last ones coming into Moffett. Yeah, crazy loud. The EA6B was just the EA6B was just recently retired. The A6 was retired.
Oh, I was gonna say there wouldn't be an A6.
No,
that was retired.
It was the EA6.
The EA6.
The F-18 took over for the Tomcat and for the A6 and the F-111, because the F-111 was Navy too. So the F-18 took the role of like 4 planes, including the S2 or S3. I can't remember what it's called.
S2 is a fire bomber aircraft.
Yeah, the S3, the Hoover. There's a mini what do you call it? The mini submarine hunter. And I've seen those fly over here too. The NASA still has one.
Yeah,
you didn't see the V-22, did you, Nate?
No.
Last week there's a V-22.
They above my house. The V-22.
The V-22 flew. Well, they're replacing the C-2, which is the Greyhound. So now they're going to start coming over. The V-22s are replacing the mail plane in the Navy.
Watching when the Guppy flew in, that was so cool.
That was kind of cool.
Dude, it's such a huge plane. I was watching on Flight Radar and I saw it come over the hill. I'm like, oh my god, it's massive.
It looks so goofy.
It's so stupid looking.
And then all the smoke coming off it because it's the older engines.
Yeah, and they made like a funny noise.
Yeah.
Because they got those weird props on them. Those weird 4-plate props.
Yep. So what else? But yeah, no, we used to have amazing air shows here at Moffett. I'll have to post some of the videos I found. I got to see an F-104, the German F-104s fly here in 1986 or 86 or 88. I can't remember. I think it was 86. But yeah, the F-14 demos here were amazing. And then the F-14s used to come in regularly because it was a Navy base. But thankfully we still get a lot of planes. Nate sees them first, and he tells me, and I go out and look.
Yeah,
We're both right in the landing pattern for Moffett.
We're right on. I'm on like a 10-mile final.
Yeah,
and Red's like a short.
I'm
final.
like 3 miles. Well, they're about 3 miles away when they're here.
Yeah, but they come over me. It's so funny. Right when they pass my neighborhood, they throw the gear down. Like I saw the guppy. I heard it like howl, and then I saw the gear fall out.
Ooh, yeah, makes that weird noise.
You know what's cool? Like, the MiG-29 does that when you throw the gear and it starts howling. It's so cool because they actually. I realized so they have those NACA ducts on the tailpipe, but they've got gear holes in the gear.
Oh, inside?
Inside the wheel well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Record Roy, the Moffett shows were amazing. Because it was, anytime they have air shows, people don't realize it, but air shows are recruiting. So it was an active base. So they tried to get everybody in this area. I mean, granted, most of this area was military, but they wanted to get as many people into the military as possible. So they made those air shows huge. And they had all the cool stuff to try to get people to join. There's still military there now. It's not like full active bases, but
no, they have a bunch of kids there still though.
There's Marines, Army, Air Force,
they
Navy
fly a lot
too.
of Learjets out of there. I always see a bunch of Learjets fly out of there. Army Learjets.
They have a lot of the cargo planes, not cargo. They're C's, C-32, C-30s, UC-30. All those military versions of civilian planes. The Gulfstreams that come in all the time. There's one from NASA that comes in. So if you guys haven't checked out my channel, my YouTube channel, I've got a lot of spotting videos from military planes coming in.
We flew over Moffett on our 170 I wanted to see the big hangar from up top. Because
What was that? When did you go?
I used to go every year when they had the Collins Foundation. But one of my first rides in a smaller plane rather than like an airliner was the B-25. At 4 years old, I flew in the B-25, and that was so fun. I got to crawl in the gun there. Yeah, I was the only one that could fit through that damn tube into the gun. That was tiny.
I don't know if Collins Foundation's coming back.
They took a big hit after they lost 909, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
They still fly those things a lot, though.
But I don't think they can take people. I think they just do displays. Record Roy and NASA stuff still flies in, too. There's still random things that come in.
Yeah, I always look up on them.
Yeah, NASA Ames is still there. And they'll do, every now and then, they'll do random flybys. So I've had the U2, the NASA U2 that's all white with the 2 tanks. The Canberra has come in. I've seen that. They've had this goofy looking slow flight plane that's come in.
Did they ever fly the X-29 out of Moffett?
No, that was Edwards.
Okay.
But it never came out here. Although I did see the predecessor to the V-22 fly at Moffett. And then the predecessor to the C-17, I saw that fly at Moffett too, which was a.
I love when the C5s come over my house. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah, they're at about 1,500 when they fly over you. They're at about 800 when they fly over you.
Yeah, I love. And then also when Collins Foundation's in town, the P5 Betty Jane. I remember buzzed my elementary school one time. That was so cool. Yeah, I was like the only one looking at it. I'm like the dorky kid in the middle of the fucking blacktop. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, JCB 67. I got to see Bob Hoover fly 3 planes at Moffett one year. He flew Old Yeller, he flew the Saberliner, and he flew the what do you call it? The Strike. He flew all 3 of them in the same day. It was pretty dang amazing. Old Yeller was cool because he could change the timing on the because with those old planes you can adjust timing and retard all that stuff, all the timing. He'd set it up in a way so that when he'd come to land, it would backfire like crazy. So it was kind of cool to see Old Yeller come in. It would snap, crackle, and pop the whole way.
I got to see his Mustang sitting on the ground. Apparently, his commander is parked in somewhere in New Mexico, I think.
Just parked?
I think it still flies, but last I heard, it was in a hangar somewhere in New Mexico. I think Alamogordo area, I think is what it was.
I hope they're taking care of it because that thing was awesome.
Still got the old R.A. Bob Hoover on the wings and shit.
Yeah. When I saw it, it was green, white.
That's what it still looks like, I think.
Yeah, green and white, I think. That was the 80s. That was like 84, 85. Long time ago. Then there was this other little plane he flew too. No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else who flew it. But, yeah, Moffat shows were the best. Saw the Silver Bullet, the little BD-5J.
Oh man, that thing was probably cool.
The fastest landing gear in the world. You could make them go. You could make them go up and down because it was like the parking brake in a car. Bang, 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 bang. Up, down, up, down. It's cool.
Yeah, I've seen his P-51 too. They had it parked in Reno one year.
Didn't they fly it? Didn't somebody fly it?
I think. But
I knew he flew the Saberliner at Reno. You know, he had somebody in there with him.
I never got to see him fly. I didn't meet him, but I think I might have saw him. But I'm not sure.
No.
I didn't see him. Sean Tucker, his whole team lives up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. My mom was actually driving to get my sister from her horse camp, and they saw their team van driving down 17.
Yeah, and we had for one of the air shows, RC air shows we did, one of his pilots came and flew for Hiller. And then since Oracle's based there in San Carlos, he will fly, VIPs out of San Carlos on occasion. Since we didn't have Fleet Week this year, he didn't do it.
And then he also, I don't know if he does it year-round or like a yearly thing, but in King City, he has like a week-long aerobatic school camp you can do in King City. You do the training and then you do the flying.
He likes to teach more than anything.
I've met him a few times. He's a nice guy.
He's like he's an inspirational, motivational speaker. Mm-hmm. So cool dude. But I think we're going to end it, guys. We've been going for a while, and it's starting to calm down. People are starting to go to sleep. So, Beale. My wife was lucky. She got to live near Beale, but she had no idea what she was looking at. SRs. Yeah, there are SR-71s out there when she was there. I've only got to see one once. And it was when it was trying to break a record, flying from SoCal to Washington. Flew over constantly. Yeah, no, but it would.
What did they do? They did like 45 minutes, right?
What?
From like SoCal to that East Coast, from west to East Coast, like 45 minutes.
49 to the East Coast, but then they did one from north to south. So they went all the way from south to north, from LA. What is it? Ray! Yes, I'm still here, Kenny. I was up in Angwin. I don't know if you heard that, but when I first started working at the store, they did a run from Edwards Air Force Base all the way up to Washington, and they broke the sound barrier over Angwin. So when I was at the store, I got to hear it go almost break the windows.
I just heard you blowing up.
That's different. That was funny. It was right after 9/11, so we scared the crap out of people. We were.
They used to.
We were blowing up. We made dry ice bombs. It was the funniest thing ever. We ended up finding out that the Crystal Geyser bottles were the best. We'd just take. The produce guy would show up and he'd have dry ice, and while he was unloading stuff, we'd sneak in there and take some of the dry ice and hide it. So then once the store was closed, we'd go and take all the bottles out of the recycling, and we wanted to figure out which one was going to be the best. And we had The little small crystal geyser bottles were the best, and we put hot water in there, as hot as we could get it. Then dump a couple shavings of dry ice and cap it as tight as we could, and throw it away and roll it away. And it was like the coolest thing ever, because it was so loud, but there's no evidence, so there's no idea of what was going on. It was just this huge boom, and then there's nothing. So this lady freaked out. Her name was Birgit Housted. I'll never forget it. Birgit Housted, and she had like 18 kids. But anyway, she ended up calling the cops, and the sheriff ended up coming up, and there's all of us outside at the store, and there's like, what the hell's going on? I said, sounds like like there's a war zone going on out here, because there's all these booms, and it sounded like mortars going off. So this one guy, I guess he was scared of the cops or something, he ended up fessing up. So then we're like, okay, we'll show you what it is, because we were just going like, we don't know what's going on, we don't know. But he ended up freaking out because he's scared of the cops. So I said, okay, so fine, we'll show you. He said, but you have to promise not to get mad. It's like, okay. So it's because it's not doing anything. So we ended up making the biggest one that we could. We shoved a whole bunch of as much dry ice as we could into one little bottle, and then hot water. And then we told him, he said, okay, he said, it's going to be loud. We let him know, it's going to be loud, but just know that this is all it is. It's not an explosive or anything. Just watch. So we took it, we threw it out there. There's 3 cops, mind you, there are 3 cops there. And they're all, this is just a bottle of water. I say, trust me. They're all, hold on. So we roll it out there, and when it blew up, it's the loudest it had ever been. The cops actually jumped and ducked, and they were like trying to run for started to run for cover, and then they're like, holy crap. And they're like, oh my god, because that's all you can do when something's so loud and you're not expecting it. You just go, oh. So they're like, oh my god. Said, oh, it sounds like a dang bomb going off. Said, you guys realize 9/11 just happened, right? Said, you guys want to be known as terrorists? We're like, no. So they're all, stop that shit. Said, it's cool. It's really cool, but don't do it anymore. And they said, pack up your stuff and go home. So then we left, but it was hilarious. And I actually want to go do that again. That was fun.
We'll have to do it at the field one day.
Yeah, and then we're gonna end up getting kicked out. But it was funny.
Nobody can have fun in these days, right?
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about that. I mean, there's no evidence of anything. It's just huge explosions and nothing. So we got to do it again. And there's one time I got to see that happen with an RC airplane, and it wasn't on accident. It was an air race, and the retracts. This is back in the days too. They use sometimes they use Coke bottles, or they use other air bottles for the retract. And the plane was doing probably 180 miles an hour at the time. It came around a turn. Boom! The whole thing just blew into pieces. The engine was still running and ends up spinning and flying down to the ground. The air tank blew up. This is in the 90s. This is 93.
See you, George.
Yeah, guys, we're calling it a night too. We've been hovering around 28 people, but it's time to go. So, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully, I was able to help out some people with the weird stuff that I work on all the time. But even if you catch this on the replay, if you guys have any questions, put questions in the comments and I'll get to it. Alan Gentry, yes, we're near Lemoore. Those airplanes come to us. So the Lemoore planes will, when they're doing training missions, they'll come fly over. Actually, we're getting a flyover this weekend for the 49er game.
What is it going to be?
So I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know if it's going to be T-38s, which are boring, or F-35s or F-18s. Yeah, George Watts, that same thing. It happened in the pits that day too, but one happened in the air, so it was really bad. The one in the air was crazy dramatic because this was the air races, so it was an unlimited plane, but it was a silver, so it wasn't as fast, but still doing about 180. The gold winner that year was a Lancer. And this is all old glow engines. So they're glow engines with 2 glow plugs per
Was it
head.
purple and white?
Huh?
Was it purple
No,
and white?
these were regular. Looked like an actual full scale Lancer, the Lancer 4.
Oh, okay. So it might have been
The
made up with his Lancer.
gray and white, but not gray and white. They're like a brownish gray and white, tan and white. They were crazy fast. This is the 90s. This is 93. They were doing 215, 220 miles an hour back then. And the planes weighed over 50 pounds.
My buddy Chris LeVar, he showed me some old photos. Those guys didn't run much. And he showed me an
No,
old
it was straight pipes.
He showed me a photo from like the late 90s of his buddy landing his race plane on fire. Like the whole nose was melting because the engine got so damn hot.
Engine got too hot. There were glow planes and there were gas planes. The gas planes would get too hot sometimes and melt stuff. One of them, the headers flew off in the air and it was just burning up the cowl as it was flying. He had to land. And then the landings were always the best because people would always mess up. Anyway,
fall out of the sky.
Time to get going, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Any other questions that I missed, put them in comments. And we will see you later. I'm back to burner duty again tomorrow, so I'll try to get into the other chats. RC Tourette's again, or what?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Adios. Have a good night.
See you, Ray. Bye.
Adios.